Hey guys, Paranoid here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today I want to go through and I want to talk about 3v3 Arena and the things that I have learned, the mistakes that I have made, so that you don't make those same mistakes going forward. First thing that I want to talk about is just the system itself in general. We really don't have a whole lot of information. Plarium has not given us much information on the ranking system, how it's going to work. I know I have seen some spreadsheets out there that show that every week they'll do the reset and you'll have a third of the player base that will move up to the next rank from the rank that they're currently in. At that rate, it works out to, once we finally get to Gold 4 in 12 weeks, that you're going to have somewhere between 6 and 36 people in Gold 4 based on what I've seen from those rankings. I don't know if that's how they're going to work this, if that's how they're going to do it. I don't know if the one-time rewards are not going to, we're not going to get those for 12 weeks until there's finally a Gold 4 that's unlocked. They've said that the Bazaar is going to come in July, so are we going to continue to work towards the one-time rewards while also gaining currency for the Bazaar? These are all questions that, as of right now, we don't have any answers to. But what I can tell you is some of the things that I've learned for 3v3 Arena for right now. Currently in 3v3 Arena, you start off with 1,000 points. You do your battles. You gain points based on, gain or lose points based on your wins and losses from that 1,000 baseline. If you win, you move up. I streamed for 3 hours the other night, did about 10 refills, and one of the things that you'll notice is the points per victory on my opponents is very low. And that's because I did 3 hours and 10 refills, moving myself up here to the 2,069 points. So now, because everybody in the world is in Bronze 1, whenever I hit a refresh, the point value of my opponents, they're ranking this one here at 1,300 versus my 2,069, means that I only get 4 points per victory if I fight them. That's okay. However, if I go in and I lose one of these matches, I am going to lose 16 points for that loss. So if I win 2, I will gain 8 points, and lose 1, I will lose 16. So overall, even though it's a victory, I will net out negative points. Like this one here, I lost the first match, minus 15, gained 5 for the second 2 that I won. Says it was a victory for me, but I lost 5 points by doing that match. What does that mean for you? That means as you are going through and using your 5 tokens per day, you need to really pay attention to the points per victory. The higher the points per victory means the higher the rank they are here, the less risk that you have of losing points. So if I would be to get somebody that was, say, at 2,800 points, I would gain 15 to 16 points per victory, but I would only lose 4 or 5 if I lost. So if they had one team that I could beat, then it would be worth it for me to go in, even though it might show a loss overall. If I won that one team, I would gain more points than I would lose, and they, in their victory, would actually lose more points than they would gain. Buying refills and winning the easy matches that are out there, everybody's in Bronze 1. There are a lot of easy matches you can go through, and you can find that you can beat all 3 teams, and that's going to move you up higher on this ranking. But then it's going to make it to where everybody that's below you, you're not going to get as many points for those victories, so you're not going to move the bar as quickly, and you're going to risk losing points for having one matchup that turns out to be a bad matchup for you, and you lose 1 but win 2, you'll still lose points overall. Do not spend any gems on token refills. Use your 5 per day. As you start to climb up, you're going to see the point per value starting to shift and change. You do not need to use all 5 of your tokens in one sitting. Let these refreshes come through. I just had a refresh that I didn't have any tokens and I'm not buying any tokens for it, so I skipped them at that point. But I just had a refresh where there was somebody that had 2,067 points, so it was 10 across the board. 10 seems to be the baseline number for the battles. If you are on a level playing field, then it's 10 points per victory, which means that if you win 2 and lose 1, you're going to gain 10 points. If you win all 3, you're going to gain 30 points. But as your disparity grows between either you're attacking somebody with more power than you or less power than you, you're going to see this points per victory starting to shift quite a bit. I will show you. Here is where the downside. So I've had quite a few people now. Actually, it was still on attack. Normally on the other one it resets back to defense. I've only had 2 people attack me on defense. This one here was fairly close in the point value, so he won 11 on his 2 and lost 9. This one here, Platinum Arena player, must not have really started in the 3v3 yet. Somehow I popped up on his screen, saw he could beat 2 of my teams, beat those 2 teams, got 16 points per victory on those 2 teams, lost 4 points for his 1 loss. He's doing it the smarter way, the way that I should have done it, by not spending any gems on those refills and looking for the highest powered teams that you know you can win at least 1 match, preferably 2 matches, so that you can gain the most points per token. Spending money on, at this point in time right now, spending gems on refills in this game mode will actually set you back. It will be a detriment to you. Don't spend any gems. Look for teams that give you a good point per victory and that you know you can win. Attack those teams, do the 5 per day. Your goal should just be just inside of this top bar so that you move on the next week. Then when you move on the next week, everybody's going to reset at 1,000. Go through and do your 5 battles per day and continue to do that until it gets to a point where it may be worthwhile to do a couple of refills. When the overall player base drops enough that as you're hitting refresh, every opponent that you see gives you a good point per victory. But right now, with everybody in the world in Bronze 1, it takes a long time to hit a refresh where you see somebody that's worthwhile to even attack. So come back in frequently, check your refreshes. It resets every 15 minutes just like with normal arena. Go through and look and see through the list who's in there. If you see somebody that's worthwhile, that you're going to gain a decent amount of points but not lose a ton of points if you lose a match, go ahead and take that fight. If there's only 1 in that refresh, do that 1 battle, sit and wait, and in 15 minutes come back and look again. The secret to this game mode is going to be slow and steady, is going to net more than trying to go at it all at once. So it's very opposite from most of the other content that they've put out. I'm not going to say whether it's good or bad. There are things that I don't like about it, but I can see from the standpoint of being a little bit more equitable to everybody, based on, obviously if you have a roster of Bronze 4 characters and Bronze 4 gear, you're not going to be able to compete with somebody that has the Platinum tier roster or Platinum tier gear. But you're also it's going to shake out and spread out to where you're going to be facing Bronze 4 people with Bronze 4 gear. That's going to allow you to get more victories when those gold bars come out. You're going to be able to get more gold bars. You're going to be able to save up and buy more stuff in the bazaar by doing it that way, where the current arena system, if you're not in gold, it's very difficult because you're getting the players that have quit the game have been degraded and degraded and degraded, and they have defenses that you just don't have a chance of going up against. With this route here, if you're one of the lower level, it's going to be very difficult here until we start getting some of the higher power players shifted out and moved up the ranks. But once that shift out and the movement up the ranks is done, it does seem like it will be a more equitable program. The other thing, for somebody who has a higher player power, a higher team power that can go through, for instance, this person here with 1100 points, even if I had a gem, it's not worth the battle for me to go in to only get 9 points out of that victory. I would wait for a refresh until I saw an opponent that at least gave me 9 points, preferably the 10 or 11 points per victory. So it should shield some of you from being attacked by the much higher level, higher power teams, because at the end of the day, the points that this one gives is not worth it's not even really worth the token, because 9 points is not going to give me the movement that I want to see or that I need to have. So hopefully that helps you guys a little bit. Would like to know what your thoughts are, what you've seen so far in 3v3 Arena. We'll see. Overall, I think it is too early. I know there's a lot of negative around it, and for a while I actually had quite a bit of negative around it. As I sit and I kind of think about it and let it stew, we don't really have enough information to fully be negative on it yet, so I'm going to try to hold back from having a very negative opinion or put out negative attitude around it. Just going to try to give facts, try to let you guys know the best way to progress and get the most value for your tokens. I will evaluate and look at it again after the reset next week, probably do another video, and I'll try to do that at least once a week after reset, so we can kind of see how things are moving and how things are going in the different tiers of Arena, and what the refreshes, what the opponents on the refreshes look like. How often are you able to find an opponent that has a worthy point per victory and that's worth going in and attacking? How many times are you having to refresh before you actually see one of those opponents? So some different things like that. Hopefully we do get the Bazaar in July. Then we can actually see how many gold bars we're going to need, how many gold bars you're going to get for that weekly, because one of the things that they've said, you're going to get gold bars per victory, and then you'll also get gold bars based on your weekly reset rank. So we'll see where kind of the good spot is there. The one-time rewards, they look pretty good, they look pretty nice on paper. However, I don't know how worthwhile they're going to be. I mean, if you can get them through your 5 tokens per day and not dropping a ton of gems on the game, absolutely go for it and get them. You obviously want to get to the highest rank that you can, but I would not put any resources into this game mode to try to push your rank any further, because it is not, from what I've seen at this point, it actually is counterintuitive in that the more resources you sink into it, the harder it is to progress. Now, one thing that I do want to point out, and this may come in the future as more ranks unlock, but you can see here it shows this person going from Bronze 1 to Bronze 3. I don't know if we're going to be able to skip ranks on reset as things kind of filter through. This is some of the information that it would be very nice if Plarium would actually give us and let us know. Unfortunately, they most of the time choose to not be very upfront and not be very open with the information that they give, so we have to figure it out and we have to learn as we go. We have to learn on our own. So, long story short, would not sink any resources into it. Let it go naturally. Go in and check your refreshes when they're available. Do not spend all 5 tokens in one sitting unless you have 5 opponents that give a good point per victory. Hit whatever gives a good point per victory, then go back after the refresh and wait until you get another good point per victory before you use the next token. Make sure you're use all 5 of your tokens per day, but make sure you're using all 5 of them in a good way. Get the most value and the most benefit out of those 5 tokens per day. Get yourself, all you have to do is be in that top third. It doesn't matter whether you're at the highest point value or the lowest point value of the top third. If you're in the top third, you're moving on. So just get yourself to be in the top third. The other thing, the point value at reset doesn't even matter because everybody resets back to 1,000 points. So just do enough to move on in that top third, and be done with it from there. Go to focusing on the other aspects of the game, grinding Fire Knight to get the immunity gear, grinding Dragon to increase your speed gear so that you can make more teams that are viable for 3v3 Arena. It's not all about the champions in 3v3 Arena. It's going to be more about the gear and how many players you can equip with that high-end and top-level gear. There are a lot of people out there that have great gear sets for 4 champions, but they may not have great gear sets for 12 champions, and that's what 3v3 Arena is going to take, is great gear sets for 12 champions. So thank you guys, appreciate your views. If you would, leave a like, subscribe, hit me up in the comments, let me know anything that you found with 3v3 Arena, what your thoughts are on it, what your thoughts are on the game mode, any information you might have that I didn't go over. Would love to hear it, would love to know about it. I want to try to give as much information as I can to the community, because unfortunately Plarium themselves isn't going to. So we'll keep doing things, keep learning by trial and error, and we'll find the best way to advance through and turn this game mode into as much of a benefit for us as we can, while we're waiting on things like the Void Tower and Battle Pass Season 2 and the new clan boss to come out. You guys have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next video. Oh, also before I forget, I am going to stream Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Going to go through and do some shard pulls. May do my 5 arena tokens as they come up, because they'll refresh at 9 o'clock at 9 Eastern my time. So we'll go through, we'll have a little bit of fun. Hope to see you guys there at the Real Paranoid at Twitch TV. Y'all have a great day, and thank you.